As we mentioned in the introduction to this workshop, our practical suggestions for teaching and pedagogical support will be based on two key frameworks: the community of inquiry and the 7 principles for good practice in undergraduate education. In this video, we will focus on explaining these 7 principles. The 7 principles were first published in 1987 by Chickering and Gamson, with the support of the American Association for Higher Education. They offer a solid model for quality university teaching and can be adapted to many learning environments. In 2009, Sorensen and Balin adapted these 7 principles to the context of online learning. Let me now walk you through the 7 principles for good practice in undergraduate education. These principles, originally proposed by Chickering and Gamson, remain highly relevant today, especially in digital and blended learning environments. Student-faculty contact. Frequent and meaningful interaction with instructors helps to increase student motivation and intellectual commitment. In online settings, this can be fostered through timely responses, virtual office hours, or interactive announcements. Cooperation among students. Learning is social. Encouraging collaboration among students builds a sense of community and deepens understanding. Think about group projects, peer feedback, or discussion forums. Active learning. This principle invites us to go beyond passive knowledge transmission. Students should engage in activities that require analysis, creation, and reflection, especially important in asynchronous formats. Prompt feedback is essential for student improvement. In digital environments, it can be automated, personalized, or peer-driven. What matters is that it is timely and constructive. Time on task. Helping students manage their time effectively increases success. Clear schedules, pacing guides, and checklists can all support this. High expectations. Students tend to rise to the level of expectation. Challenging but achievable standards, clearly communicated, can enhance performance and self-efficacy. Diverse learning styles. Finally, good teaching respects differences. Digital tools allow us to present content in multiple formats and offer choices in how students demonstrate learning. As we explore these principles, we'll consider how they can be applied within the community of inquiry framework to enhance teaching presence, social presence, and cognitive presence. In the next slides, we will explain in more detail why they are important and how they can be applied. Principle 1. Student-faculty contact. This principle focuses on building strong connections between students and instructors. Frequent and meaningful contact helps increase students' motivation, engagement, and sense of belonging. In online learning, it is essential to design communication spaces where students can interact with the instructor in different ways. Some of these are formal, like announcements or Q&A forums. Others are more informal, like social spaces for casual conversation. We also recommend diverse methods to ensure students feel supported. These include individual messages, video calls, or midterm check-ins that show care and presence. These actions help students feel that the instructor is present and available, which is key to student success in distance education. Principle 2. Cooperation among students. This principle is about encouraging students to work together in a supportive and collaborative way. We know that learning is deeper when students can share ideas, give feedback, and learn from each other. There are 3 key areas to focus on. First, we must create opportunities for interaction. Digital tools help us connect students who are geographically distant. Second, we need to guide how students work in teams. This means defining roles, setting expectations, and monitoring participation. We must also make sure each student is responsible for their part. Third, it is important to create a sense of community. Simple actions like sharing personal introductions or using informal discussion areas can make a big difference in how students relate to each other. Working together not only improves understanding but also helps students feel part of a learning community. Principle 3. Active learning. This slide focuses on one of the most powerful principles in education: active learning. Let's begin with the quote, "Learning is not a spectator sport." This phrase reminds us that students learn best when they do something with what they are learning, not just listen or watch passively. Now, what do we mean by active learning? It refers to strategies that get students actively involved in the learning process. This improves both understanding and knowledge retention. Students are encouraged to apply their knowledge, discuss ideas with peers, and reflect on their learning through writing or action. On the left, you see the active learning cycle. It starts with discussion, where learners begin exchanging ideas. Then we move to reflection, where they think about what they've learned, followed by hands-on activities, which include doing or creating something. And finally, application, where they use that knowledge in new or realistic contexts. On the right side, you'll find some effective techniques to foster active learning, especially in digital or blended courses. Experiential, hands-on activities. Let students manipulate tools, run simulations, or test ideas. Role-playing and case studies. Help them explore real-world scenarios. Structured online discussions. Promote critical thinking and peer interaction. Small group case analysis. Encourage collaboration and deep engagement. As educators, our role is to design learning tasks that engage students intellectually, emotionally, and socially. The goal is to make them participants, not just observers. Let's keep this in mind as we think about the teaching strategies for our own course design projects. Principle 4. Prompt feedback. This slide is about one of the most impactful principles for student success. Prompt feedback. We begin with the quote, "Knowing what you know and don't know focuses learning." This reminds us that timely and meaningful feedback is essential for helping students adjust their understanding and improve their performance. The principle of prompt feedback can be broken into 3 core dimensions. 1. Clear expectations before feedback is even given. Students need to know what is expected of them. Set predictable feedback timelines. Let students know when and how they'll receive feedback. Use rubrics and exemplars like the one shown in the first image so students can self-assess and understand success criteria. Provide clear submission guidelines so there's no confusion about what is required. 2. Improvement opportunities. Feedback should not be a final judgment but a starting point for improvement. Allow students to revise their work based on your comments. Encourage self-assessment so they can monitor their own progress. Use peer review as an additional layer of reflection and collaborative learning. This dimension highlights the feedback loop as a learning strategy, not just an administrative task. 3. Digital efficiency. In online and blended environments, technology allows us to give more timely and scalable feedback. Use tools like comment banks, voice feedback, or learning analytics to give quicker responses. Incorporate automated assessments where appropriate, especially for knowledge checks. Remember that students in digital environments expect fast feedback. It keeps them engaged and motivated. To conclude, prompt feedback connects learners with their goals, offers room to improve, and supports continuous learning. As educators, our goal is not only to correct, but to guide. Let's design feedback as a formative and empowering tool. Principle 6. High expectations. Let's now turn to the sixth principle. High expectations. As the quote reminds us, expect more and you will get it. In online and blended education, students often work more independently. Clear and high expectations help set the tone for performance and engagement. This principle is not about raising difficulty levels arbitrarily. It's about clarity, consistency, and challenge with support. Here are 4 key strategies to implement this principle. Detailed study guides provide clear learning outcomes, task descriptions, and evaluation criteria. Students need to know not only what they have to do, but also what good performance looks like. This helps reduce uncertainty and allows learners to plan their efforts effectively. 2. Assignment instructions. Make sure your instructions are comprehensive and unambiguous. Include all necessary details and provide links to additional resources. Anticipate common questions or misunderstandings and address them proactively. 3. Performance rubrics. Use rubrics that define performance levels clearly and fairly. Criterion-based rubrics, accompanied by sample submissions, give students a roadmap for quality work. This fosters transparency and consistency in assessment. 4. Communication standards. Finally, create an environment of professional and respectful discourse. Set expectations for how students should interact in online forums, group work, and emails. Model appropriate communication yourself to reinforce standards. When students know what is expected and believe they can achieve it, they are more likely to rise to the challenge. Setting high expectations, coupled with clear guidance and feedback, helps create a culture of excellence in digital learning environments. Let's close with Principle 7, respect for diverse learning styles. This principle highlights the need to acknowledge and adapt to the variety of ways in which students learn. In digital environments, especially with diverse and international student populations, it's crucial to design learning experiences that are inclusive and flexible. Diverse opportunities. Students bring different strengths and preferences to their learning. We should provide content in multiple formats. Some learners prefer videos, others favor reading, and some benefit from visual summaries like infographics. Offer varied assessment types. For example, allow students to demonstrate understanding through essays, presentations, or digital portfolios. Encourage both individual and collaborative activities, catering to students who thrive in solo work as well as those who learn better in group contexts. 2. Cultural awareness. In blended or online settings, cultural diversity is even more evident. This involves being sensitive to language differences and varying levels of comfort with English or other languages of instruction. Acknowledging that students may differ in time management expectations or communication styles. For instance, what is seen as active participation in one culture may be perceived as too assertive in another. Adapting tone and instruction style to create a safe and supportive environment for all. Ultimately, respecting learning diversity enhances engagement, equity, and academic success. As educators, our role is to design learning experiences that not only deliver content but also make space for each student to flourish in their own way. Implementing the 7 principles in your teaching. In this slide, we summarize why the 7 principles are so important in modern teaching, especially in online and blended environments. Let's start with the first number, 7. These 7 principles form a comprehensive framework for designing online learning that is not only effective but also engaging. They help us focus on practices that truly enhance the student experience, whether it's building relationships, encouraging active participation, or giving timely feedback. Next, we have 3 learning domains: cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. These domains remind us that teaching is not only about transmitting information. It's about addressing how students think, feel, and act. The 7 principles provide tools for working across all of these areas in a balanced way. And finally, we see 100% student-centered. This is perhaps the most important message. These principles shift the focus from teaching to learning. It's not about how much content we cover. It's about how we help students engage with that content meaningfully, at their own pace and in ways that respect their needs and contexts. In short, these principles give us a roadmap. They don't offer a one-size-fits-all solution. but they help us make informed decisions that align with the values of inclusive, quality online education. Let's keep these principles in mind as we move into the design activities today. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope the video has been of your interest.